This is Rock Leach with Social Fire. Gospel recording artist Fred Hammond is going viral. He's going viral for sharing the unbelievable story behind one of his groundbreaking songs. You don't want to miss this video. Now click that like button and that bell notification so you'll be notified every time we put out a new video while you prepare yourself for this video clip. And I'll come back with some commentary. Let's go.
One song sticks out that makes people feel like I am a sinner in need of your grace. And I didn't even do nothing today, God, but I'm crying now. And that song is Running Back to You. What was the inspiration behind that song? Because that is a timeless classic.
You know, let's just be 100 because I'm 61 now. I don't care what y'all think. Y'all can be mad at me if you want. Y'all can judge me if you want. But we know that song's about fornication. We know it. Stop playing with me. We couldn't know. We didn't steal. We wasn't on drugs. We didn't smoke no weed. You know, we just went to church. We know what that song was about. And we was guilty of it. And this was when Commission came out. Now, let me tell you the story. When we got together, Keith and Carl, especially Keith, were clean. Mm-hmm. Very clean. Carl, okay, he's got his own testimony, but we viewed him as clean. Mitchell and I were heathens. When it came to that. We were growing up, man, he had no father figure, man, this, that, another. What else you gonna do around the hood? But when we all got together, there was a synergy that said, and I told him, man, we're not gonna have babies all over the country.
Yeah.
We're gonna be famous. And I know a lot of these groups, I've been out there and I've seen them. We're not gonna have girls on the floor of the hotel. We're gonna really walk this thing out. Because we hadn't started walking it.
Right.
We was working on walking it because the Bible says, speak those things that are not as though they are. So we spoke it into existence because Mitchell and I were still working on ourselves.
Right.
And we never told, it wasn't no situation where we were bragging to Keith and Carl, like, hey man, we didn't do that.
Right.
But Mitchell and I would have our conversations, man. And afterwards we would be in the car just crying, like, man, happened again, God.
I keep falling into this.
I said,
every
man,
time I turn around.
we gotta get married, man. You know, shoot, man, this is crazy. But our hearts were so,
yeah,
it was pure.
Yeah.
And I never forget when we were talking and we made up our mind, said, you know, we're not gonna be that group.
Yeah.
We're not going to be having girls all over the road and having all this stuff. And so that's when our walk started getting serious.
Yeah.
Second album is getting ready to come out. And that's when I'm driving a truck. I'm still working. The first album came out, but I'm still working as a truck driver, you know, person that delivered tables and chairs, me and Michael Williams. And Mitchell worked at Thornapple Valley Meat Company. And, you know, we're still working, doing jobs. Keith went to aerodynamic school and Carl worked at Kmart or something. Mm-hmm. Michael Brooks worked somewhere. He worked as a church musician, and Michael Williams was working with me as a delivery guy. I never forget, like we were thinking about the next album, and I wasn't the main writer. I was more of the arranger. Mm-hmm. Me and Mitchell arranged all the vocals, and that was my thing. I could take your song and I can arrange it. Michael Brooks was the writer, and that's just the way it was. The next one, I never forget, I was in the truck, and I just started thinking of really trying to be serious. I'm like, God, you blessed us with this. And, you know, I really need to get this thing together. Can you forgive me when I've often gone astray? Can you forgive me when I changed my way? Having a back for you. And all I had was that for like 2 months. Then it was time to record. And I started recording it. And I started writing it down in there. And when I got to the point, you hold your nail-scarred hand. And I just was getting ready to get married in a few weeks. And I was in my apartment with bed on the floor. And I wrote, you know, you told me you understand because then you hold your nail, Scotty. And I fell out in my room, speaking in tongues, crying. I'm sorry, Lord. Help me make it. So we understand what that's
I'm
about.
finna get married, God. Just
Just give me a couple weeks. I'm holding it. We good. But I lived, I went and relived it because you know what? That was really all of our struggle. But that was the thing, you know, we just wanted to be right. That was my prayer. I wanted to be right before God. And I saw him for the first time as a loving God, not a judgmental, I'm running back to you. You tell me, get your get out of here. You know, so you know, that was what that was.
Now, I myself was very glad that Fred shared this story because this song ministered to me when I was a young man out here trying to figure it out. This song kept me with Jesus when many other things was just a distraction trying to pull me away from him. And so I was glad that he shared this story. Not only was I glad he shared this story for me, but for all the other future up and coming gospel artists or young men who are struggling with this same thing. Thank you, Fred Hammond. But I want to know your thoughts. Jump down in the comment section and let me know what you think about what Fred Hammond had to say about this song. Let's go.